Does anybody have questions about the what you would put? So what you're going to do next, the next steps really, so you've all have the source evaluation, you'll all get those back within the next hour. They're all graded, or they're all written on. I just have to fill out the rubric and return those for those of you that did it. The next step, then, what I would do is, if those really are the sources that you're going to use, then you want to make a references page. And there's a link on D2L for the draft of the references page. So when you have all your sources, write it up as if you were doing a references page, submit it under where the draft is, and I'll look to see where I put it, because I might have to still rearrange some things. I will then look at it, I will fix or show you what you have wrong with it. And then once all of it is corrected, then you're going to actually submit that as your final. So the reference page is worth 50 points. But to make sure that you get to 50 points, you certainly can submit it early under the draft, and I will give you the feedback for it. Okay, so I'm not expecting you to get it the first time, but once I have looked at your draft, then you can fix it and then submit your final copy. So I don't want you skipping that step. I do want you to do the draft first so I can give you the feedback on it, because there might be little things here and there that are wrong. So some general rules again for writing things up. Remember, if you use a web page or a website, the website title itself is not in italics, but the web article is in italics. So this is the opposite of if it's like a newspaper or a journal. So if it's like the New York Times or the Washington Post and the New York Times, that becomes italicized, but the article itself does not. All right, so you have to, what is an article and what is not. If it's just a website, not including the government websites, that's a different story altogether. But any website, then you're going to write the title of the web page in italics. Right, so it's flipped. Right, it's flipped, so it's a little bit different. Then everything is explained on D2L in the on the references page, handouts, but that's the easiest way. That's all you're going to be using. Most of you are either going to use, some of you have SIRS and you have the database the whole time. That makes it easy because you don't have to do any URLs if there's no DOI. You just kind of write the information out. Remember, volume numbers are always italicized. So let me do this one more time. So when you have your journal name, let's say Psychology Today, that's in italics. And then you're going to have your volume and your issue number. So this and this are both in italics. Okay. Be careful also with page numbers. And Brian, you had something kind of weird on your source evaluation, which I questioned. So after you have your volume and issue number, they usually give you your page numbers. Now, if it is a range, they're going to give you the dash. So let's say it's 60 to 69. All right. You're also going to see after that then 10p, which tells you it's 10 pages. You don't put the 10p or the 2p on the actual references page. If it's only one page, you're just going to have the single one. So Brian, I was confused on yours because one of them had like a 5 and then a 69 or something like that. And I didn't know what you meant by that.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at what's returned today.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna return it within the next hour. So I circled it and I just had a question about it because
yeah, we had talked about that one. I had one issue, and it looks like the reference that you just made up top that I had an article that was a page 2, and then a page 69, and then it would say 2 pages, 2p, and I think you had told me just to put a comma in between the page 2, page 69, and then no 2p,
so
and
so the question is, so it really was on 2 separate pages in the journal?
if memory serves correct, yes.
Okay, well then
Yep.
it might be right. I mean, that's unusual for a journal to do that. Um,
Yeah.
for newspapers, that is kind of normal, but for a journal, it's kind of unusual. So um, I'll have to look
Yeah,
at
I'll have to take a look at it. If it's that one that we went over together
it. Yeah.
last I forget, last Thursday. Yeah, that was it. It was actually just 2 pages, and I think one was page 2, one was 69, and I
Okay.
was a little confused on how it was citing, because I would use the cite engine, and then obviously use the APA 7 to go back through and try and correct it, and I was a little unsure of how it should look.
Okay.
But I'll take another look at it today and definitely get back with you if I have any more questions.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Um, so volume and issue number. That's when because I know Maya had a couple things that were not italicized, but that. Well, again, that was on the source evaluation, so that doesn't mean anything. Okay, so you want to work on the definitely get your references page done, and I have an outline now. Let me see which one is on D2L because I don't think I like the one on D2L. There we go. Research planner. My computer, well, yesterday with all the storms, of course, the power went out. So in the middle of one class, I lost the whole Zoom thing. That doesn't look too bad. So let me look at my online class because I actually gave them one that I liked. Of course, then when the computer came back on, it did the old Apple update, and the Apple update is never good for my computer. Nothing ever works right after that. So let's look at this. Okay, here we go. So update survey outline. And outline. So I'm gonna probably give you these as soon as I can get them to open. We can look at it. So to plan out your essay, you're going to do an outline. There we go. Yeah, this is the simple one. So that looks similar to the one you have on D2L. Okay. So I'm going to upload the sample. This one I'm going to put on D2L for you so you can kind of look at it again to see how it should look. Go back to your course, 207. This is week 6. All right, so persuasive research planner. ABC 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's ABC. That's the one. Okay, good. So this is the simple outline. I'm not really particular about how to do it, but you should have an attention getter. So and write out the introduction the way you would, so that way I can see what your thesis statement is. I can also see what your so-called preview statement is. Remember the preview sentence. So just to clarify again that how we're doing this. This is an argumentative paper. So this is not an explanatory paper. So we're not explaining about a topic. We're arguing for or against something. And your preview sentence and your thesis statement is going to take a position, and it's going to state your reasons why you are arguing for or against the thing. Okay, and that's really important. And then headings number 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the 4 points that you're going to be bringing in your essay. The big reasons that you're going to argue. So your preview statement really outlines the paper for you. Then under the headings, under these different topics, then you can break it down. So I have, as I said, I have that sample, which I will upload the sample right underneath of this planner. And that way you can kind of see how it's done. Most of you did have a thesis statement on your source evaluation, so I kind of gave you feedback about your thesis statement there as well. So that's really what you're working on now. And let's just double check the calendar. Okay, so we are week 9. All right. So all right. So I'm probably going to make a slight adjustment. Probably I can push back things one class, but probably can't push it back more than that. So the outline, now that you have the research done, really you could probably get a lot of the outline done for Thursday. The paper, it says it's due next Monday. Tuesday. I'm gonna push the paper to next Thursday. So it'll still give you a week after you do the outline. So I can look at your outlines, I can give you then feedback. What I would like you to do on the outline is please make sure you bring in citations. So whatever evidence you're going to use, write it up as if you were writing in the paper. So if it's a direct quote, make sure you have all the information for a direct quote. And remember, direct quotes always require the author's name, the year, and a page or a paragraph number. If it is a paraphrase, you only need the author's last name and the year, okay? But if you have those on your outline, I can also grade that well, not grade it, but I can give you feedback on it so that when it comes time for turning in your final paper, you should be able to do it okay because I would have already given you feedback on it. So definitely make sure you bring in the research on your outlines. I don't know why I left that out. So the final week really are presentations. We don't need 2 days of presentations because I don't think that many people are going to make it to the end. So I'm thinking if we push everything back, the actual presentations will be on the last day of class on 4:30, and that still gives you guys plenty of time to work on the paper. Once your paper's done, then you need to work on the presentation. The presentation is simply a presentation of your paper. We'll worry about that a little bit later. And we're going to present it live here on Zoom to one another with sharing screen. That's the easiest way to do it. For those people that aren't attending class, they're going to have to figure out how to record it and submit their presentation that way. You also have the option, if you don't want to present live, you could record it, but it's not a big deal. I would just kind of do it in class and get it over with. All right, so everything's pushed back 1 day, and I'll adjust the calendar yet again and change all the dates and change the dates in D2L. And I'll move things around now on D2L again and put them in the new place so that you won't have to kind of figure out where everything is. All right, so you're for the most part, the research is done. I don't have everybody's, and if you owe me anything, please try to get it in because we are getting close to the last weeks of school and I don't want to have so much popped on me at the last day. But just about everybody in here is up to date on everything. So really, you can work on the references page and then start working on your outline. If you have the outline then on Thursday, you're good to go. Then all you have 1 week then to sort of write the draft of the paper. If you have a rough draft by next Tuesday, because the paper will be due Thursday. If you have a rough draft on Tuesday, I will look it over for you during class time and give you feedback on it. Okay, does anybody have any questions?
So is there anything due like today, like the reference page and the pre-writing assignment? When is that due?
The pre-writing is the outline, and that's going to be due Thursday.
Okay.
The preliminary references page, you have all your sources, so you could put it together and submit it Thursday as well. That way I can then look at it over the weekend, give it back to you, and you can fix it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else have any other questions or something I can help you with?
Yeah, you said the reference page will be submitted under draft submission.
Yeah.
Is that available now, or is that?
Let me look. We are in week 9. This 8. Yeah. So what you'll do is under week 9, which is where we are now, you'll
Yeah.
see reference page submission. So upload it there, okay? And then you'll just upload the final one there as well. So, it's just one submission thing, but you'll fix it and then once you have the final one, then you upload it there too.
Okay.
It's easier than having 2 separate links because people will then screw it up and post in the wrong spot. So it's under week 9 submissions. The pre-writing assignment is the outline. That's what that is. So the outline that I just showed you, that's in week 6. That's what you're going to submit under Unit 3 pre-writing. And again, I will put the sample outline underneath of the one. So again, it's under week 6. And persuasive research planner. I might just change the name of it and call it outline so it's easier to find. And underneath,
But it will be under week 6.
And then underneath of that, I'll put the sample.
Okay.
Yeah. So whoever designed the course, they one they call it pre-writing, then the next moment they call it a planner, and then you have outline. So I'm going to change all the wording to make it outline so it's consistent.
But you'll leave it under week 6?
Yep. I'll leave it under weeks. Yeah.
Okay. One more quick question on the presentation. I know you said that we were going to get back to that at a later date, and that's fine. Just, I wanted an idea. When we do that online, will we be using like screen share? Will we be doing a PowerPoint presentation, or can we do that with screen share?
Yes, yes, you will be able to do, it is a PowerPoint.
Okay, great.
You will be able to screen share it.
Okay. Okay, I shouldn't have an issue with that. That sounds good.
No, I mean, it's easy. So everybody has the possibility to screen share. Like, it wasn't working before, but I made sure. So you can test it. All you have to do is go to that screen share button, and it should open up a bunch of boxes. Whatever you see in that box is what everyone sees. So the first one you see is like the entire screen. And then if you have a single document open, let's say you have a PowerPoint, it'll open that up in one particular box, and it'll just show the PowerPoint. It won't show your whole desktop.
Okay.
So all you do is wherever it's highlighted, and you click in the bottom right-hand corner, it says share. You click share, and then it opens up. And then I can always close people out. So it's the easiest way to do it. And of course, the whole time we can still see you. So like, you don't want to be reading it, having a script and reading it. It should be still kind of a presenting to the class type of thing, because we have that little box on there with your face. So a lot of times people cheat, and they do on the online classes, they do a PowerPoint recording, but PowerPoint only does it slide by slide, and it doesn't do one continuous, and we need to have like one continuous speech. So.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's it for me right now. I'll be sure and look at the source evaluation.
Yeah, so as soon as we get off, I will upload them and return them.
Yeah, I definitely. Okay.
All right. So if nobody else has any questions. All right, then look for your source evaluations probably within the next 15 minutes. And then if you have questions about those, you can email me, or I'll probably stay on for another half hour at least till 12. So if you have questions about it, you can pop back on in and ask your question. After 12, you have a question, then simply shoot me an email.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. See everyone soon.
Okay. See you guys.